everybody. It is officially December, so I hope you guys all got your glittery stuff hung up, or if you aren't of the Americas and have other things, I also hope you got your candles prepared, because that's coming in another week, Hanukkah. But also, I hope you guys are all doing well and had a very, very crisp morning. Like Javion, I heard baby, it's cold outside.
It is. We live in the same state. So you know just as well as I do. It is freezing. It's frigid. I can't ride my scooter to work anymore. I have to take buses. So
Oh.
that's not cool or fun. But thankfully, TableTakes, I can work from home. So I'm nice and cozy and comfy with my space heater and my jammies.
Ooh, I love jammies and space heaters. More all hope you just keep warm all year round.
Mhm.
And the bus isn't too bad going through things. Also, you know what? Who's also in a very, very cold area? Noir. How is it holding up in your side?
It's 44 degrees. Can't complain. No, it's been nice. This week I'm super excited. I found all of my Age of Rebellion core rule books for the Star Wars RPG. And I also found out that not only are they selling the dice again, but there is an app uh specifically for Star Wars games that you can download that has literally all of the Star Wars dice for all their games, because apparently all the Star Wars TTRPG games have proprietary die. Thank you for that, Fantasy Flight. I really appreciate
Oh, all right. Well, no.
it.
I see somebody wasn't listening last time when I was ranting about this, about how we had to buy the app that's like $5. I've known
Yeah,
about this weeks ago.
I didn't know.
You weren't paying attention, I see,
I wasn't.
Noir.
Because there's one that's free, and that's the one that I usually use. But I checked out this app one, and it's like it's better, but it's $5.
It does the math for you. It does the math.
Well, the free one also does the math for you, but it's a little janky in selecting the dice. No offense to whoever developed it, but I just I spent $5. I'm not happy about it.
Okay,
And
so
also all the physical dice are already sold out. Love that.
yay, we got a theme going on, but I'll talk more about that later. Peter, what have you been up to?
Well, Bonsai, I'm still in denial about how busy I am between this show and Peter versus the Machine. And Actoroki is just getting crazy. Like I got two film shoots this week. I mean, in addition to like our normal streaming, not this week, this month, in addition to our normal streaming, and it's December is like supposed to be the month where you like divert your attention to all the holidays, but we're not doing that. And Sarah Moore is in town, but that's a lot of fun because she's a regular producer on here on Gen Con TV, and also is very involved in all of our management of Gen Con TV. So it's nice to have her in town, actually do some work in person. So how about you, Bonsai? How are you doing?
Well, today I had a little adventure, but that will lead on to later news. What the most important thing is that I got a healthy health. I got my health, I got my family, but I'm lacking in things. But that's because I'll tell you what I'm lacking in, because we're gonna drop straight into the news here at Table Takes. If you're ready, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So, hey, I don't know if you guys know this, but I've been talking about a certain card game for a very, 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 very long time.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering.
Yeah, similar, very similar
Okay.
to Magic the Gathering. It's Disney Loracana. So, if you guys haven't heard about this, Disney, of course, is trying to do their own table collective card game called Loracana. Of course, the first batch of it, Ravensburg, is the one that is selling it. But fun things happen. Basically, thank you to Charlie Hall at Polygon and Sheen Hannon at comicbook.com for this information. Ravensburg on November 20th, launch of the Lorcana's first expansion, Rise of the Floodborn, did not happen according to plan. The launch was meant to kick off to direct to consumer sales via Ravensburger website, but according to Ravensburger, the sales were targeted heavily by a DDoS attack that overwhelmed the protection that had been put in place for their partner at QFair. So if you guys don't know what I forget what the actual forgive me because I got this explained to me by a coder, but I forgot what the DDoS actually means. Noir, do you remember what that stands for? A DOS?
A digital denial of service.
Yeah, digital denial of service. Thank you so much. Sometimes I get these things wrong as well. But was it wasn't actually an attack.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's distributed denial of service. I'm sorry.
Distributed. Okay, distribution. So basically, a lot of people got into the website and it crashed the website because of the queue. So it wasn't a particular attack for basically against Ravensburg that people suggested. It was just that so many people wanted these cards that it messed up the system because there's just too many people queuing up and requesting to get access to the card site to go ahead and make their orders that is just overwhelmed and thus took down the system. So it was not an actual attack. People are not maliciously coming in here and attacking Ravensburg. It was just the demand was so much. You know how like on olden days, Black Friday happened and people just rushed into the doors? That's what happened. But to kind of like hitch onto these, I have a little semi rant. I'm like, this is me just I've been really, really into this and really looking forward to Lorcana. But as you can tell, I've had hard time getting my hands onto it. Been kind of monitoring it as things go on, but this actually brings up my point with it, like a lot of family or friendly local gaming stores not being able to get their orders in time. Also, the reprints not going out to everybody. They try and I can understand like maybe trying to go direct sales, but even with that approach, for example, they had it on the Disney website, Shop Disney. They had a lot of midnight sales go on December 1st for the Floodborne card collection set. I was one of those people that queued in exactly at midnight this morning. And basically, I actually kept refreshing until like basically 11:59. I was able to get in and I got into the queue. I was instantly, even being at that time, I was number 23,280 in the queue right at midnight. I got in 18 minutes later. Everything from the booster packs to the Disney collection set was already sold out. And basically I got the what is it called? The starter decks for both. Yay for me. I got one of each of the starter decks. That's all I was able to go out. And that was with, of course, limitations being put on there. Also, Amazon had their own queue to go ahead and buy these booster packs and stuff as well. But instead of it just being something that you sign up at a certain time, you actually just submit your email as a request and you are then joined into a lottery queue to get the opportunity to buy the booster pack sets. And then, of course, if you were looking at physical stores, Barnes & Noble, Target, all of the big chain stores had it for an hour. That's all you can. I'm sorry if I do sound a little salty. I just, been trying. I've been trying for a while. I did get one. Yay. I literally got the last starter set pack at the store. This is the last one. It was the very last one. I think this is more of like I wanted to open a discussion with you all because there is generally, at least from the circles that I've been in, and there's a large like increased disappointment with the distribution, with how they're handling the sales, and what basically knowing that they've had this demand but still not able to keep up with this demand. How do you feel about there's multiple questions in this. Like, one, the scarcity of these cards. Even this is the third time of its coming out. Two, the avoidance of selling it at a lot of, or not getting it to friendly local gaming stores first, as like, especially because if they want to have tournaments next year. And just like basically them trying to sell directly or through the big brands. What are your thoughts, processes?
Well,
Well, I
first
mean, we
I'd like
don't
to.
really
Oh,
know, we
oh,
don't really know what their how the demand curve has been changing over time. Like, so, it who knows whether they actually are consciously shorting the market or whether the demand for the product is increasing faster than their forecasts are. I mean, we just don't know. I guess I'm sympathetic to this because this all this Lorcana discussion takes me back to 1993. It was like, oh, 1994, living this all over again. Like when Magic the Gathering was taking off, and for at least a year and a half, we were always being accused of consciously shorting the market. And everything you're saying about Lorcana was being said by Wizards of the Coast. And I was like, should have been like one of the best days of my life, but I was like crying every night because of all of it. Or it could be they're evil. That's the other option. I don't know.
well, I've got two questions. One for you, Peter, and one for you, Bonsai. I'm gonna ask you first, Peter. How far out in the future do they have to project in order to have production meet their the demand?
Well, my data is 20 some years old, so I'm not. I mean, I imagine it depends on where they're printing and how much, but it's going to be at least a couple of months and maybe longer. For Magic, we would send files to Cartamundi in Belgium and expect product 3 months later. But then when we started printing Magic in the U.S., we were able to shave that off because there's a process. It's not just cards, but you're also printing all the packaging and so on and so forth. But it's also could be cash flow. But I mean, Ravensburger is big enough; it shouldn't be having a cash flow issue. But there can be that sort of issue in terms of ramping, or it could be budget limitations, like can't go over budget, all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
So, but I think you're talking Noir. I think you're talking at least 2 months to place
Wow.
order and get more product.
Yeah, I think it's fair for them to kind of expect what they're getting a little bit. But just really quickly, my question to you, Bonsai, is how does it feel to know there's probably a child out there that was like, I really want the last box, and you took it. You took it. You have it in your hands now.
Ooh, you gotta bring the children into this. Gosh darn it! Well, to be fair, I only bought one. Okay. And I didn't see, if I didn't buy it, the person right behind me would have gotten it. All right, I know another card person when I see it. But yes, no, I am the terrible person that is at the McDonald's line stealing all the kids' toys. I totally admit to that now. It's my own fault. But yes, no, I think it's just it's interesting. Well, yeah, Javion, do you have any comments on this at all?
I'm not so much worried about getting cards. I know that with time and extra printing, people are going to get their cards eventually. I'm more concerned about whether or not the game's good, and I haven't had a chance to actually figure that out yet. So I'm mostly staying out of the fight for cards. Although I did, out of curiosity, look up what the most expensive cards are. And surprise, surprise, they're not cards you can get in a booster pack. It's promo cards from the Disney Expo when they actually announced it, and like we're like actually getting people a chance to get some promo cards. So who would have guessed, right? So, well, I am looking forward to seeing if it affects Gen Con again next year, as well as it did this year.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see about all that. But yeah, no, yeah, I'm glad that you brought up Kids Noir, because you know what? If they really wanted it, they would have gotten on their bikes and they would have rode down early in the morning to get it.
Victim blaming.
But yes, do you have any exciting news about that?
Yeah. What a renegade move. Speaking of Renegade Game Studios unveils Kids on Bikes too. A quick shout out to Jeffrey Dome Sanchez for the coverage. Renegade Game Studios unveiled Kids on Bikes 2E, a new edition of the popular RPG, which will hit stores April 2024. Kids on Bikes was first released through Renegade back in 2018. This highly anticipated second edition features refined powered character rules and allows GMs to introduce power player into games that is controlled by every player at the table. It also has an expanded GM section with more creatures and runs for collaborative storytelling sections. This book contains an introductory module to help players start playing the game, and it's going to retail for $39.99, which is not bad at all. If you would like a display of Kids on Bikes, I highly recommend Magic and Misfits, which is an adaptation of it, Kids on Brooms. It's just a very fun, intuitive storytelling system, and I am a huge fan of it. Have you all ever had the chance to play Kids on Bikes? And if so, what did you think?
Uh, I definitely enjoyed Kids on Bikes just because it is like it's kind of very nostalgia, and also I don't have to really worry about my character dying because it's just like intuitively you play it, and I mean it is like depending on if you do like teens in space, that one was a little bit like you could have more of a chance of passing because they're teens. Who cares about teens? But at least if you like, it's just a very nostalgia kind of like very 80s-esque feeling that I like getting from it.
I haven't played Kids on Bikes, but I am a huge fan of what it's about and the system that it uses. I love D6s, and I play a lot of systems that are really similar. So this is cool. I didn't think it would get a second edition. Honestly, I thought it was just one of the games that are sort of really good on its own, and they could just keep making content for it. But I think this is definitely good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't play the original, but now that it's come out in the second edition, yeah, maybe it's time to give it a look. It's got some staying power.
I do have to say to Bonsai's Plate, do you know how vicious of a GM you would have to be to initiate a TPK at a Kids on Bikes game?
That's what I'm saying, but I mean like I've had like really combative D&D people before. So that's what I'm saying. I like the thing that I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna I don't have to worry about me like a total like wipeout, but like I mean the teens in space one. I've also tried that, and that one was like, we're teens. You get what you get. It's like the age gap right there. It's like, oh god. So
Like death race on the aqueduct.
Listen, if you are a GM that TPK people playing Kids on Bikes, I would like to talk to you. I would like to know if you're okay.
But yes, no, that's fun, and I'm glad that people can look forward into it. Maybe even here at Gen Con, we could also do a play of it. That would also be exciting.
I would love that.
As long as it's not
Yeah.
live action. That's where I don't.
No, we got to all pretend to be kids in the 80s. But yes, I mean, with like speaking of kids and 80s, what would really go well with that style is some new shoes. I don't know if you guys are into the Christmas season, and getting some stuff, especially for that person you have that is really into like sneakers and fantasy. Well, if you guys don't know, thank you to Chase Carter from Dicebreaker for this article. Luke Gygax is launching their own shoe, like his own shoe brand, a fantasy shoe line. This is part of the G20 Fantasy Lifestyle branding series at Gaxworks. There's a lot of X's, so I'm trying to pronounce, excuse me if I pronounce this wrong. So it is, of course, Gary Gygax, one of Gary Gygax's son, one of the people who makers and innovators for D&D itself. Basically was saying like, to honor his father. Luke was saying to honor his father. His father, before he became this big name in D&D, was a repairman, aka cobbler, and was like, you know what, that's a good tie-in to like honoring my dad's memory and then also promoting this kind of lifestyle. I don't know if you guys have been, a lot of people are trying to do lifestyle brands. This one's more of a fantasy nerd lifestyle brand. They have 2 different types of arts on the shoes available. Surprise, surprise. If you see on the display, this is the one I want. It's orange and it has the dragon on there. So it's the red dragon illustrated by Tyler Hostler. And they also have an Elf and Beholder artwork by Elron Otis as well on there. And it comes in black and white. They're high tops and sneakers and with low tops. So yeah, it's just basically a little thing. And it's a nice nod to your dad being like, hey, this is fantasy, but also accessories.
I am upset about this.
Why? Tell me.
Because they miss the perfect opportunity to like come out with D&D based sneakers. Like instead of calling them Air Jordans, they could have called them Air Genasis, and it would have been like I would have been so sick.
That's actually so good.
Like I would you know how like each basketball player has a shoe? After I want Monsters to have shoes, I would have put on the latest mimics, like Air Mimics.
Oh gosh.
Oh, I actually would want an Air Mimic. I'm not gonna lie.
The gelatinous dunks. I want these. Like I don't have no problems with these. These look great and they're amazing. But yes. I want like basketball shoes mixed with my D&D. It would be, this is so close to being everything that I, as a sneakerhead and a D&D fan, want.
Like that like nerds would buy Boots of Swiftness if somebody put those out. Like they would.
I mean, if it was good for hiking, yeah, definitely. Peter, did you have something to say?
Yeah, I'm just glad to see Luke doing this. I mean, it's fun. I mean, I love this industry so much. And I love to see people find a way to like have jobs in this industry, how to make money in this industry, how to make the industry bigger, more sectors, more product categories, anything that has to do with growing this industry of tabletop games that we love and providing more jobs to people in doing this. I'm all for. So Luke, yes. Take us into gamer fashion. I'm go. I'm right there. Go, girl.
But yes, you know what? I feel like with this launch, I feel like there's a lot of like more entertainment value that can come out of this, right, Javion? Sure,
absolutely. This next headline is very near and dear to my heart. Cryptozoic's blog actually just announced the launch of a Kickstarter campaign for a game that came out 10 years ago. So in fact, the 10th anniversary of Adventure Time Card Wars. For those of you who don't know what Adventure Time Card Wars is, it is a card game, very similar, but not the same as Magic the Gathering. Okay? It's not the same game. People keep saying Card Wars is just Magic the Gathering, but for cartoons. And it's not true. Marcus, get my soapbox.
Oh my god, we get it. You think trains are cool. So overrated.
Okay. Magic the Gathering has lands. Adventure Time Card Wars has landscape tiles. All right? Magic the Gathering has mana. Adventure Time Card Wars has action points. In Magic the Gathering, you tap cards. In Adventure Time Card Wars, you floop cards, okay? They're not the same game. All right? So, you can stop saying that Magic the Gathering and Card Wars are the same game. They're not. Just because Cryptozoic got sued for making an app that was too similar to Magic the Gathering, that doesn't mean that they aren't different games. It just means that they had some inspiration to work with, and they just had some overlap. It's just it's groupthink or parallel thinking. Yeah, that's all it is. Okay, it's different. Okay, I'm gonna come down from my soapbox now. So thank you, Cryptozoic, for bringing back a beloved game in a Kickstarter campaign that gives folks who have not played the game a chance to join in on the fun. With the Kickstarter, no matter what level you pledge at, you get every single card in the series. That includes all of the collector's boxes, any booster pack cards, and all of the heroes that come with them, as well as any promos that they had stuck into comic books, which I bought because I wanted a full collection of Card Wars cards, and I got them. So what's cool about this edition of the campaign was that it adds in so many different ways to house your cards. There's the doubles tournament game storage box, but there's also the deluxe edition that came out as well. You get the collector storage box, which houses the ultimate collection of all the Card Wars cards, heroes, all of the tokens for HP. It's all of the stuff all in one giant box. And what's not to love about that? Here's a quote from Corey Jones, the CCO of Cryptozoic. The love for Adventure Time has only grown over the last decade for our team and fans everywhere. So we are thrilled to be able to bring back Adventure Time Card Wars. What makes it so special is that it takes the fictional game played in the Card Wars episodes and turns it into something real that is lots of fun and brings players into the world of the TV series. If you're a big fan of Adventure Time like I am, this is huge because it gives you a chance to play with some of your favorite characters as heroes that give you bonuses while you're playing, or you can actually see some of the characters that you've seen in the show, like James Baxter, which is probably the best card in the game, or new cards that maybe you haven't heard of before, like Phyllis, an old lady with a tiny little purse and a tiny little dagger. And some of the flavor text on the card is really fun. You'll see that on the bottom of her card, I'm pretty sure it says, she distracts you with her dagger when her purse comes in for the whammy. Or the Wandering Bald Man, my personal favorite card, is just a literal bald man in some underwear that makes you discard the top card of your deck every single turn, which is really good if you're playing... Okay, sorry. I'm going off on a tangent. This is an easy-to-learn game. It sets two players head-to-head, but you can also play in a doubles tournament, so you got like 2v2. It's great fun for the whole family. It's awesome for folks who don't want to get into a super expensive card game that I won't name here. I definitely haven't named yet. And it's also awesome for people like me who want to play something really quick and fast, but is also super addictive. And this way you get all of the cards all at once, so you don't have to go around from game store to game store to game store looking for the collector's edition that just came out. I'm sorry. Okay. Please check out the campaign with the link in chat if you are so inclined. What do you guys think? Will you try it?
Honestly, you might have sold it to me because it is convenient and you don't have to go around and have to deal with that. And it's a set, and they know, they're like, hey, you know what? We just want to get this out to people who love the fandom.
Yeah. I think I want to try it because it sounds like I don't have to relearn the rules.
That's awesome. But I have to say, Noir, you might be thinking that maybe this is a similar game to Magic the Gathering, but I'm telling you, you're gonna want to read the rules. It's really important. There's a lot.
When I tap my mana, when I floop my action points.
Exactly. Yes. When you floop the pig to turn over the landscape tiles of your opponent, which doesn't mean that they can't actually use the landscape tile. It just means that it's flipped over, so any bonuses they would have gotten from the blue plains. You see what I'm saying? Okay, cool.
Planes? Did you say planes?
Blue planes. They're called the blue planes, okay? It's not the planes. It's the blue planes, okay? It's different. They're all different, okay?
Planes are
there's
white.
The icelands. There's the blue plains. Okay, there's the swamps. Okay, they're different.
Hey, Bonsai, let me cover some serious news, okay?
Yeah, I think I'll give you your ticket to ride this one off. Peter.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, let's back to the news, guys. This headline brought to us by Matt Jarvis of Dicebreaker. Train Game Classic Ticket to Ride has received a spruced up digital adaptation on a PC. Unfortunately, though, it's not going down too well. Going through kind of a dark tunnel, you might say, with the players, and for some, perhaps good reasons. While a digital ticket to ride has existed for years, this adaptation adds new 3D graphics and animation to Alan Moon's venerated game of collecting routes and completing tickets to score points. On top of the new look, there is a solo mode against AI opponents, which developer Marmalade Game Studio describes as having an adaptive difficulty level depending on the game or based on the gameplay of over 100 real life master Ticket to Ride players and millions of simulated matches. Oh, yeah. Okay, I gotta say, just what I need. Go play like what for me is just kind of like a fun, mindless ticket to and just get like trounced and run over. Okay, fine. Anyway, back to the article. Okay, as well as facing the computer, you can play against your fellow humans online in real time or asynchronous matches. Both Ticket to Ride's original North American map and the European map are included in the game. Unfortunately, despite the list of fancy new additions, the new Ticket to Ride is currently sitting at a mixed reception on Steam, with just over half the players giving it a positive review. Among the complaints noted by players are reports of crashes. Okay, well, they'll fix that. Let's not worry about it. A lack of features, including in-game scoring. That seems pretty important. A cluttered user interface, and the new animations making matches longer than they need to be, with no option to speed them up. Oh, I gotta say, I hate that in a video. Like, okay, like I play Civ all the time. I don't want to watch my warrior go across. Like just boom, go, battle, go, boom. Yeah, they need to get rid of that. One player wrote, you can play the game on Board Game Arena for free, and the version there is better than this game. Another fan added, this new version just made the graphics better, but made worse every other aspect of the game. It's worth noting that if you already own expansion maps for the original digital Ticket to Ride, you'll have to, now the expansion maps we're talking about, like, China and Norway and all this stuff like that, you will have to buy them again once they come to this version, something that's also raised a little ire among the players. Making things even worse is the fact that the older Ticket to Ride, listed now as Ticket to Ride Classic Edition, and its DLC, which costs £15 for the lot, are no longer available to even buy on Steam as of October 3rd. While the game can still be played against AI if you happen to own it, or in local multiplayer if you already own it, the online multiplayer will be switched off in 2024. By the way, I hate that when you have a video game and suddenly like, oh, your license is expired. You can no longer play this game that you own. Like, I own the game. Anyway, okay. Marcus, that should have been a grognard moment. My bad. At over £12, the new Ticket to Ride is almost twice the price of the older game's £7. And it sounds like you'll be getting quite a less for your money if reviews are accurate. So there you go.
That I will agree. Please allow skippable cutscenes, because that I don't have time to wait to watch things happen over and over and over and over again. And also, I would agree. If you already bought the game once, I know some folks, some gamer friends of mine also, when new versions come out, they're like, oh, I have all of these XYZ expansions, but because there's a new for example, they're closing down the old servers that they already bought all of the, have over $100 worth of expansions. Now they have no more access to it, at least to play with people online, because of all that. It's very unfortunate.
Yeah, it's like one thing in a board game, but if you have the old game, nobody can take it away from you, right? But I have a tablet that has a bunch of games on it that I never connect to the internet, because I know that as soon as I do, it's going to deactivate my original Agricola.
Oh yeah, that's
rough.
Yeah, rough. It's a rough life of a modern gamer. Fonzie,
yeah.
Back to you.
But yeah,
this is
no. Sorry.
This is a huge bummer for all those people that wanted to gift Ticket to Ride to somebody who already owns Ticket to Ride. Now you can't send a digital code that somebody can use to download the game and also own a physical copy of.
Sure.
Oh.
I just want to say, like, it's a bold move, pissing off tabletop gamers, board gamers, and video gamers at the same time. Like, oh boy.
You know what? What this reminds me of? A lot of grim darkness, and letting that fear feed in, especially in a fantasy realm, right, Javion?
Yes, indeed. Fantasy. This next headline comes to us again from Jeffrey Dome Sanchez of ICV2, and it's all about Warhammer. All you warheads out there, get ready for a new boxed set for Age of Sigmar. This time, it's the Flesh Eater Courts Army set. This set comes with 25 completely new plastic miniatures. These are led by an abhorrent Gore Warden and his trusty Vargulf Courtier. This gruesome general leads 3 Morbeg Knights, 20 Crypt Guards, and also comes with an exclusive launch edition of the new 88-page Battle Tome, Flesh Eater Courts, 27 War Scroll cards, 30 tokens, and 33 enhancement cards. Now, if you're keeping track at home, if you add the 10 and subtract the 2, that's a lot of value out of this box here. So congratulations to all the Flesh Eaters who have been waiting for a new box set for a while. It's one of the high in-demand sets for Age of Sigmar, and it's been a little while since we've had some Flesh Eater Courts stuff. So this is really cool. Pre-order is going to be available in just 2 days on December 3rd. And you can take a look at a preview of the set on the Games Workshop website, or check out the link in Twitch chat if you want to take a look at how some of these minis are going to turn out. A fun little bone necklace for the Flesh Eaters that are very vampire inspired as always. And plenty of generals and knights for you to add to your collection. So definitely check this out when it comes out on pre-order if you want to grab yours soon.
Ooh, all the stocking stuffers. I mean, you wouldn't really want to stock all these because then it'll ruin the figurines and bend them. But
Exactly.
it's nice to think that you put them all in a sock, and send them out. And then you could just ask, with one pair of sock, would there be another sock to go with it, like a sequence or sequel of socks, Noir, that you could get into?
I love your segues. Yes, we do have some sequel news, and it's that Chris Pine is pretty confident in a Dungeons and Dragons film sequel. This news being brought to us by Chase Carter, and did I pick this headline just so I could take another look at Chris Pine? The world may never know. If Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves left you hungry for more owlbear, fat dragons, and adventures with a dubious group of heroes, you're not alone. Chris Pine, who portrayed Edkin Darvis, the Bard, recently told Games Radar that not only is a sequel to the 2023's hottest film with both Big Lizards and Labyrinth possible, he's optimistic about the chances that he'll once again pick up the loot. He's quoted as saying, "I've heard some rumors about it." In an interview with Games Radar, where he was primarily discussing his most recent Disney film. Despite Honor Among Thieves' apparent popularity amongst the tabletop segment and D5E players, the film grossed $208.2 million globally against its $150 million budget, which is not even close to the roaring success producer Paramount and parent company Hasbro likely hope to achieve. Lackluster financial performance apparently hasn't deterred Pine, however. When the interviewer asked if he would return for another round, he responded with a decided absolutely. There are things to keep in mind in regards to this film's performance. It did happen in the midst of fan animosity towards Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro's bungling of the OGL rollout. They did play fairly conservative with the marketing, and Unhelpfully, the Super Mario Brothers movie arrived days later and devoured pop culture imagination. So there are quite a few things working against this film, but it still has its own cult following. And I'm curious to know what you all think about it and if you're excited for a sequel, because I know I am.
Oh yeah, bring it. I'm absolutely more D&D movies. Let's do it.
Do you think they're gonna bring back Thumberchod?
I think they have to. I think they have to bring him back in. Jonathan, or what was his
Jonathan.
name?
Jonathan. It's gonna
And the
be
Paladin.
their whole plot. They're gonna have their own separate, like it's gonna be point of view of Jonathan's adventures.
Do you know what I would give for Jonathan? Oh God, I forgot the fat dragon's name. All over.
Thumberchod.
But you know what I would give for those two to have like a buddy cop movie?
Ha!
An Aaron Croker and a fat dragon. Let's go.
That's a good point. I think there was a severe lack of animal companions in this, and for that matter, goblins, tiny little goblin friends. I believe there might have been like a cameo or something, but didn't get featured. I would love to see a more goblin-centric sequel.
Yeah, no. It would be fun. I feel like also if it does become a bigger and bigger thing, then we will get the D&D inspired shoe brands and gelatinous cube shoes, and
Yes.
So I can finally rock my Air Drizzy.
But yeah, no, I would be excited about that. But yeah, no, I think just more into more of the fantasy brand going in and nerddom becoming more and more popular, so I can start getting stuff for cheaper at stores like Walmart and stuff like that. That's all I really want.
I really do appreciate the attention to detail that the filmmakers put into this film. I know that I believe it's the penultimate encounter where they adhere to each action being 6 seconds. And so you can actually watch what that looks like. And it's so cool. It's like, okay, I appreciate that. Maybe I should stop fighting my GM.
No.
Not you, Javion. I'll be my other ones.
Okay.
Fight me. No, I just, but yeah. Folks, with that happy note of maybe potentially dreaming of more D&D in the future, we're going to go ahead and go straight off to some very exciting bundle bossdoms with Peter.
And we are, yes, we have a great bundle for you today. And before I even tell you about the bundle, I just want to plug the punchline at the end, which is that the charity for this is the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program, which I care about passionately. So now I'll tell you about the bundle, and then I'll tell you about the Diana Jones thing again at the end. Okay, so the all-new Cornucopia 2023 bundle, it is their 11th annual offer of top quality tabletop role-playing game ebooks. For just $14.95, you get all 4 complete rulebooks in their starter collection. Retail value is $68 as DRM-free ebooks, including the swinging super spy dimension-hopping RPG Agents of Concordia, Apollo 47 Technical Handbook by Tim Hutchings. Yes, the Tim Hutchings from 1,000-Year-Old Vampire. The Design Mechanisms Casting the Runes, a gumshoe game based on the ghost stories of M.R. James. And Scratchpad Publishing's Create Your Own World Superhero RPG Spectaculars. And if you pay more than the threshold price of $30.35, you will level up and also get our entire bonus collection with 4 more hit games worth an additional $84, including the cinematic action hero extravaganza Outgunned from Two Little Mice, Broken Compass, Chris McDowell's newly revised Into the Odd, remastered from Free League Publishing, Unbound, the Universal System from Rowan, Rook, and Descartes, Spire, and the 2022 second edition of Worldwide Wrestling, the Apocalypse Engine game from Nathan Paoletta. 10% of your payment after gateway fees will be donated to this Cornucopia's offers designated charity. Yes, the Diana Jones Award Emerging Designer Program. Each year, the Diana Jones Award for Excellence in Gaming, a 501c nonprofit, amplifies the voices of up-and-coming game designers by featuring them during an expenses-paid visit to Gen Con. Back to you, Bonsai.
Yeah, no, that is a lot of really, really great designers, really great books. And also you can help make another emerging artist and designer. Go to Gen Con where we'll be at. Did you guys know that? We'll be at Gen Con. Surprise, surprise. And seeing there. But now with that to go, we're gonna go ahead and go straight into the crowdfunder court.
Welcome to Crowdfunder Court. Here come the judges. Prepare to be judged. All right, court is now in session.
And because I'm the host, I get to be the first one to make my case at the crowdfunder court. I am bringing up for everyone to see is called the Mythic Bastion before Into the Odd. So if you guys don't know, it's a rules-light role-playing game in a dreamlike world of knights and myths. Crawl hexes and the rule of domain, and you must remember your oath. It has 5 days left, ending Thursday, December 7th. The Mythic Bastion is the third iteration of this tabletop role-playing game in the world of Into the Oddverse, and game designed by Chris McDowell. It's a beautiful, beautiful book. If you guys haven't seen, if you want to sucker me into getting first looking at a rule book is just make beautiful, beautiful art. I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for cute things, beautiful art, and food. That is my, wheelhouse. So Into the Odd is an OSR, old school revival survival horror RPG, that was then followed by Electric Bastion Lands, which is a beautiful OSR set in a futuristic society. Into the Odd is like more fantasy of that main area, and this is going to be a prequel to that. So it's kind of like going the way of Star Wars. You start in the middle, then go to the future, and then go to the past to then bring us back to the future with all of this kind of stuff. This game is another OSR game with roughly the same core rule books, but is set in a similar world of Arthurian England, basically King Arthur's court, with an emphasis on hex crawl style adventures. Notably, each new game from McDowell seems to be getting better and better looking. Electric Bastion won a lot of praise for its art and design, and it looks like the Mythic has turned was turned up a notch for this, more into the pretty things. There's no stretch goal, no extra books. There's just one hardcover book, one price, and that's everything you need. So if you want to go ahead and if you don't want a hardcover book and just the PDF, $25 straight up. But if you want the hardcover and the PDF, that's $50. So there's no extra things, no added. They're just like, here's the book, here's the rules, you get it. And that is my thing. So again, that is the Mystic Bastion Land RPG before Into the Odd. And then I think next we have Noir.
Yes, I'm going next, and I know how to pronounce mine. Thanks to Peter today. I'll be showing you the Fantastic Trip, Bestiary, and Foes. I would have said bestiary, but I learned that was wrong today. Do you?
Well done, Noir. Bravo.
I try. See, I'm learning. Do you, as a GM, sometimes want to bring the hammer down on your players? Well, I have an entire book to help you with that. Now that's not how they would pitch it, but that's how I'm pitching it. Uh, they say enhance your role playing adventure with the fantasy trip bestiary and foes too, fantasy miniature STLs. I'm saying that this is a amazing book that has really creative and interesting and intricate monsters, and more than that, it has the STL files so you can print the models of these baddies and have them at your table. And if that weren't enough, this is a 192 page hardcover book with rules and lore for over 200 different creatures. Environment table organizes your creatures by habitats, so you can just put your players' places, and wherever they are, you know what monsters they run into. Treasure table shows what loot each creature may contribute to your players' coffers. And this is my favorite part: 183 double-sized 3x5 cards, so you don't have to keep page flipping. You just grab the card from the monster that you want or the monsters, you put them behind your GM screen, and you don't have to do page flipping. I can't tell you how much I hate page flipping. So if this all sounds good to you, I highly recommend jumping in on this Kickstarter. There's 12 days to go. Their goal was 5,000. They're at $22,289, and 292 backers. So be the 293rd backer and tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll send me something nice for sending you on your way.
You know, Noir, I can never remember. Which is it? Bestiary or bestiary?
It's bestiary, and
Okay.
I'm glad that you asked. And we're spreading the word that
Mhm.
hey, you might think beast, but that's not for the best. I hate myself for that.
Good one.
Please stop looking at me now. I'm done. Stop perceiving me.
I think
Bonsai.
Javion Noir needs a hero.
A hero, you say?
Yes.
Well, get ready, folks. It's the Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea Deluxe reprint. If there's one game in the world that is more underrated, more underappreciated than Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea by Gameland Games, well, I've yet to find it. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is a complete 4X strategy experience. You played Scythe. Perhaps you've played an RTS like that Star game, Star Command, Star Fleet. I can't remember what it's called, but it was really popular in the early 2000s. Anyway, well, this combines all of your favorite things about 4Xs. We've got exterminate, expand, explore, and exploit. You take on all of the classic hero tropes. We've got the fantasy tropes of the humans, the elves, the orcs, the goblins, anything you can think of that screams classic fantasy. Well, this has it. Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea. You might be asking, why is it called that? Well, I'll tell you. Amongst other things, you are trying to do the area control by sending fleets of ships or giant flying machines or even land vehicles and monsters carrying your armies on their backs across the different scapes to explore, find new resources, and conquer your opponent's capital cities in order to claim victory for your faction. It's a super fun game. I have played so many times. I own basically everything I could get my hands on while it was on clearance because apparently people just don't know how good this game is. Right now, with 11 days left, this Game Found campaign is taking off, and you can get your hands on the epic deal. Not $430, but in fact 30% off. They have this deal going right now. You can get everything, every single one of the giant boxes with all of the massive amounts of miniatures. There's so many miniatures. Every map, every expansion, every deluxe upgrade piece and sleeve you can get is all in one big bundle together. So definitely check out the link in chat if you want to check out this game for yourself. I highly recommend it.
Thank you so much, Javion. It made that all that made me salivate so much that I feel like I'm really hungry for something, Peter.
Oh, yeah, I got you covered, Bonsai. I mean, if you're happy with a cardboard game to satisfy your appetite, then you came to the right place. Okay, so I am promoting the crowdfunder Food Chain Magnet, which is now on crowdfunder. It has raised like nearly 900,000 euros, and it has like 6 days to go, something like that. So you want to jump on this now. This is for the special edition of Food Chain Magnet. Food Chain Magnet already exists as a game. It came out in 2015 as an award-winning heavy strategy game, and it's about building a fast food chain that is currently and this game is currently rated at number 38 on Board Game Geek. So that's really high up there. It's for 2 to 5 players. You take on the role of a company CEO running all aspects of your restaurant chain. This campaign is the current campaign is for a new special edition. The old one's out of print with an entirely new artistic and tabletop design. The special edition is currently in development, so your pledge will be supporting the creation of this ambitious project. This game is heavy and unforgiving. One reviewer I read said you definitely know you're definitely going to lose your first game, but by your second game you'll know how to play. So it's also accessible in some way. The game is ridiculously funny. It is also not cheap. Used copies of the original are over $100, and the lowest funding level of this crowdfunder for the base game only is 159 euros. If you want what they call the Ultimate Edition, I think that includes like the ketchup expansion. It's 299 euros. So the crowdfunder says it's at number 8, but Javion, you said it was used to be at a much higher number. Is that right?
Yeah, it was actually number 1 for a little bit. It was knocked out by Twilight Imperium, or Twilight Struggle rather.
Struggle.
And Gloomhaven after that. But yeah, hugely popular game. People really like edging each other out of territory with food chains.
Well, I hope Noir doesn't take some geek credit away from me, but I had, I had not heard of this game. 2015, and so I'm really interested in it. I went ahead and backed it. I can't wait to get my copy and give it a try.
Very, very cool. Now that we have it, I feel like we can fit one more Kickstarter thing. Javion, all I have to say is
Thank you, Bonsai. Seems like you're in the goose mood for some goose-based TTRPGs. That's right. Goose hijinks, tales of the honk-pocalypse, and an RPG system letting you live out all your chaotic goose-based fantasies. It's one honk before midnight. This is exactly what you think it is. It is the Goose Game as a TTRPG, with a little bit more for you to do besides take away a boy's glasses and keep them from him as he chases after you crying until you have traumatized him for life. No, in this game, it was an age before mankind where the world thrived in peace and tranquility. Then the humans arrived, disrupting the delicate balance of nature. And that's where you come in. You are going to be part of an elite gaggle of geese. You and your Goose Master, or GM for short, are tasked with the titular adventure, One Honk Before Midnight, wherein you are in the countryside village of Stafford-on-Gander, which I can only assume has something to do with about a goose and being good for the gander or something like that. Dive into the daily lives of the eccentric residents and foil them at every turn. If you like 5th edition, if you like 2D6 systems like Monster of the Week and Apocalypse World, if you like exquisite artwork and battle maps, check out this Kickstarter for the ultimate goose-based RPG experience. You've got only 60 hours left to jump on, so check out the link in Twitch chat before it's too late.
all right, with that, I feel full and have absorbed all the Kickstarters and have planned accordingly to lose all my money. But yes, I think that is it for Table Takes. Take it away, Peter. What should we look forward to?
All right. Well, yeah, that does conclude another ripped from the headlines episode of Table Takes. But don't go far, because in just a couple hours, we have Sarah's Table, where Sarah will lead a group of holiday misfits through an adventure to find the true meaning of Christmas, setting things on fire and kicking people off of mountains. On Peter versus Machine on Monday, I will play probably the most famous tile placement game of all time, Carcassonne, at 9 a.m. Pacific time. In Indie by Night, the coterie will find out who the mysterious G is. Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific. On Path of the Brush, Rick Ankeny paints minis with industry guests, Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific. In Actor Roki, Mike Boozer will return to us to run his nearly departed campaign set in the world of Chaldea, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific. Roll with Rem Alternus returns on Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Then Friday at 2 p.m., we're back here for TableTakes. All right. Thank you to the Gen Con TV crew, Marcus Mace, Steve Goddard, Sarah Moore, Janelle Lovett. Thanks to my delightful co-hosts, Javion, Bonsai, and the Noir Enigma. And thanks, most of all, to you for watching and hanging out with us in chat. Remember, follow Gen Con TV for more of the best 4 days in gaming all year long, right here on twitch.tv/GenConTV. Finally, one last thing. If you have any extra Lorcana cards, please send them to Bonsai so she can go on to a new conspiracy. Thank you. Adios.
Right here.